Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Grizzly on the Hunt for Local Sightings with Barb and Chris. How are y'all doing, everybody?
Welcome. Is Chris muted?
Yeah, he's muted.
Okay.
Yeah, we're watching one of
I'm not muted anymore.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody. How we doing? So, hello, Crazy Witch. How you doing there tonight? Barb says hello. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, Yolanda.
Let's see here. Yolanda, yeah. Chris Hensley says hello to everybody. Facebook user. Hey, I made this one on time. Congratulations.
Oh, no.
Welcome.
Oh,
I'm glad
it's
you
anonymous. Who are you?
Yeah, all right. Hi,
Does
Chris.
anybody know? Stingray.
Hi, Stingray, yes. Hi, Grizzly. Hello, Yolanda. Welcome back to another edition of whatever is going to happen. I have no idea. I'm going to tape everything down in the studio so things do not try to jump off and leap and fly on me. But yes. Hey, Stingray, welcome to the show. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a color. I don't know if that neon green works or not. What do y'all think?
It's not bad.
Not bad? All right, we'll leave it then. So what's going on in your all's neck of the woods? Anything?
It's been pretty crazy at my house, I have to say, with my clan.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, was it this morning I got that?
Yep.
Or is it?
Yep.
And explain what you sent out.
Well, actually, you know what? I sent you the video. If you can, you can play it. We'll play it in a little bit, but I'll tell you what happened because I cannot get. I'll tell you what's weird. Now, what was it last week? I'm able to send out videos, right, and play them, right? Why can I not do them for my security camera? Isn't that weird? It's like, do they not want me? I don't.
That's weird.
Someone blocking it. No, it is weird because it won't. Anyway, so what happened is I got a notification and sometimes I'll just kind of like ignore them, but then I was like, okay, I'm kind of up. I listened to it and it's like sounds like a duck and then like a quack and then a quack quack and then the quacking turned into like a dog barking. And I'm like, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, she is telling the actual truth. I am bringing up the video as we speak.
Yeah. Now, because I sent you two videos. The second one, play the first. You can play the first one, which is 40. Let's see,
44 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's the.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
They're both cool. Whatever.
Yeah, let me make sure I hit the audio, share the audio button, so y'all can hear. This is important because I was laying in my chase, or laying in my chase. I was laying on my chase in the studio, and I was like, this was like 3:30 something, 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe 5. I had no idea. It was early in the morning. I was still awake, and I was working.
Yeah,
and I was like, what is this? And I was like, what? I was like, all right, shut the front door. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure here and action. I did hit play, didn't I? Yeah.
I think your audio's on mute.
Oh, it's your the heck.
Turn it up. There you go.
Here we go. Here we go. Try it again.
I'm not hearing anything.
I just heard a couple of quacks, but it was a little bit quiet.
Yeah, I mean, that's like full blast.
What the heck?
That's weird. Is it?
It wasn't super loud for me either when I was trying to play it. So again, I might have to clean that one up for you, Barb.
Okay. Yeah.
Send that in.
Yeah, but I feel like you could still hear it more, a little bit better than, right?
I mean,
tell you what, I can drop out and actually clean that up. And give me like 5 minutes. I'll come back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
Give me a
that'd be
few.
great.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
I
Thanks,
want
Chris.
you guys to hear this because, like she said, it sounded like a duck,
Yeah.
and it was like quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? That is not
Like the duck.
Yeah.
My husband's like, maybe it was a duck and a dog together. Yeah.
No,
That's
I just
what
think
was
it was
happening.
like, screw it. I am not doing a duck call. But nobody's around. It's like, all right, I'm over here, guys, or whatever.
That's what I thought too.
So,
the Sasquatch was like, I'm not trying this. No, I can't do it. Hi, Catherine. Like, I'm not even trying this hard. Nope.
yeah.
Because I know,
Mike, it's okay, honey. You can do better. So
maybe
yeah.
Maybe I needed to do that.
Yeah.
I have to do that. I hear you, honey. Good job.
So yeah, it was very interesting. Wait till Chris comes back. Chris is a tech guy. I mean, he can actually. Hello, Pamela. Welcome to the show. He's really good with cleaning up stuff but it is very interesting. Now it was quiet in the studio, so I mean it was loud to me.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if I wonder if the second one that I sent you, which Chris has heard, I wonder if how
All right,
loud
let me try that one.
That yeah, because that's an older one, but that's like a good example of like the stuff that I get. That's pretty cool. But
all right,
let me
bring that one up here.
This is just weird. I don't even know what this is. If it's not a Bigfoot.
All right. Let me make sure my audio is not muted. It's full blast, and let me hit a couple of buttons. And here we go. Here. Well, here we go. All right.
I don't hear it.
I hear something.
You do. I don't hear anything.
It's like something's banging on something.
Yeah, and I wonder if he could clean that one up too. Make it loud. My Bigfoot is cloaking its audio.
Yeah, right. We know. Isn't
that great evidence?
Yeah, and that's what Trace and I was talking about, and so was FDL Paranormal. We got to figure stuff out because people that know us are like, they got something, but the people that don't know us are like, they're right. Like, sure
you do, Barb. That's great. Wow, those two pieces of evidence were excellent. Yolanda's like, I heard like drops of water. No, it was
right. But even that guy on the last show, he was like, do not investigate by yourself. And I'm like, see? And he was like, Grizzly, don't run. And I'm like, well, it's easy for you to say. Then he played it off. He was like, well, I don't want you to get hurt. But he said it.
I just don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you just don't want me to make a butt out of myself. That's what it is. But no, you can't get hurt on investigations. So
that guy was like, had such it was like a voice that you, when you're disguising,
yes,
your voice.
Yes.
Because I was like, at first, does Grizzly have his voice, disguised? Is it maybe he's going anonymous? But no.
Yeah, right. And so I did buy me some face masks for another show that somebody wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And for another country. And I thought that'd be interesting. So I invested in all these masks. I'm like, I ain't wearing a mask because my beard stick out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I bought these masks and I didn't know. I spent like $30-$40 on them. They're really nice looking too, I mean, like real creepy looking.
Really?
Yeah.
And go over your whole face?
Yeah, but then the beard sticks out. And it's like, well, that was a waste. So I went to return them, like, oh, you can't return these. And I'm like, oh wow, that's nice. So
Can
yeah,
you put some like something to like tame it down, like beard glue or something, maybe.
Well, I do. I have stuff in it. I'm just gonna put tape on it or something.
Yeah.
Just So
does it make you look like a whole other person?
Oh, no, these masks look like you're it will scare you. Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
scary
gosh.
ones. Yeah. So
high rainy days. Yeah, you could braid the beard is what
braid the
days.
beard. Yeah. I was thinking about getting touch of gray, mate. I mean, get it because the longer it gets, the gray patch is just getting longer. And it's like, So, but yes, absolutely. So I can see Chris right now.
Oh, I hope he gets it. Well, if we can't, I have them on my Facebook page. So if anybody wants to check them out.
So we actually interviewed a guy, Barb, on Shake, Rattle, and Roll with Val, and he was Cherokee, and he knows very well about the Land Between the Lakes, which I'm doing an edition tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I'm going to bring a couple of Dogman people in, and I did a little slide presentation on it because people are like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but anyways, and hey, Lady Wolf.
Grizzly in a mask.
Yeah, right. I know that.
I want to see these masks.
But he was talking like you and other people that we know, Mike, and they have interactions with these creatures. And he was talking about how far back they go and the history with them and so forth, and his incidents with him and his son fishing on the bank, and he had a far off round when he was younger with one of his pistols. He had to go to his truck to get a bigger caliber because he thought it was a man messing with them. And like through a rock, it was the size of a cinder block across the creek to him where him and his young son was fishing.
Yeah.
And but anyways, he goes on these investigations, and he takes people, and he actually communicates with them with his native tribe language.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, do what? Yeah. And he was like, yeah. So I was like, well, what phrases do you use? And he was giving us sentences. And I was like, oh, man, you got to say it again. And I don't know if it was Crazy Witch or somebody, or it was OCO.
OCO, yeah.
Yeah. And then Crazy Witch put OCO, right? Or
hello?
Something.
What was that, like hello?
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what's your name or something. Yeah, and that one responded no back in Indian and Cherokee language. Now that would freak me out. Now it's okay. Now we know they're out there. We know that they exist. We know they float. And now they're talking in Cherokee and Indian language. Okay, now.
Yeah. And I was wondering, like, do they all then know that? Would they all know that language, or is that just regional?
Well, that's what brought up the Land Between the Lakes, because he was talking about, and he didn't get real specific, but he was talking about Kentucky, Tennessee, and part of Indiana about being Cherokee. And I'm like, yeah, Land Between the Lakes, because I know the area in the map because that's my home state, And he was like, yeah. And because if you ever look at that, the Indian tribes there, it actually has it marked out what tribes, the Cherokees and so forth, that live there. And he travels and investigates, and he knows different native Crazy Witch. It wasn't me that said it was someone else spelled it out. Actually, I can't.
Well, we'll give you the credit. That's okay.
Yeah, we gave you the credit. But OCO, yeah. But it was interesting because that's not the only time I've heard that.
Yes.
And in the paranormal field, people that go to different countries or in different countries with ancient history that have different languages that speak English usually have no results. But if they go back to their native language and use the Google Voice Translator or whatnot, they get results. So if they speak in Latin, then all their gadgets will start going off because that's what they spoke back then, or Spanish or Italian or whatnot. Right. So it's very interesting. I'm from Rosebud, South Dakota on the reservations. They've seen Bigfoot sightings and more than usual.
Oh, cool.
So Yolanda, you know a lot more than what we know. So Chris is back. Welcome, Chris.
How'd you make out?
Can't hear you. Now I hear you.
Okay.
We're not even talking, dude. What the hell you mean you hear us?
I couldn't hear a thing, so I'm like, oh, something fun. Yeah, I was having a hard time because of, I guess, maybe my Bluetooth connections, getting it to where it wants to talk. Basically, I have to take your video and convert it into an audio, so I got to more or less rip it with an audio program. So yeah, we'll have it for the next show. It wasn't
awesome.
cooperating.
Yeah,
but I'll get it for you.
Wouldn't even cooperate with me to email it. So yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I play it off my phone. That's what. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Why didn't I think about that? Hold up. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen.
Because when I played it here, it was a lot louder than what I came across when he was playing it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Maybe it was the Facebook link or how they.
Yeah, YouTube maybe too.
Well, I am not getting. So let me try one thing real quick. Let me turn off my Bluetooth.
Bluetooth disconnected.
My mic is very sensitive. Okay, now let me go back because I really want them to hear this.
Yeah, it'd be good.
All right. And of course, I hit a button doing it. Hold up. Did you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Let me play it again.
Yeah.
You see how it changed pitch? It was like,
yeah.
So, hello, Jeff. Welcome to the show from Ohio.
Yeah, it does sound like a dog joking on a bone. Yeah. Yeah. We have ducks. We don't have ducks. We live on the water, so there are ducks and geese here, but they're not out at night unless, because they're not even like around here right now because of the time of the year, because we live on salt water. So they're more in like, like on the interior, like in, let's say, like if there's lakes and ponds on our peninsula, that's where they would be. But that was, so that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, Stingray, you're right. It does sound like a dog choking on a bone towards the end. Mm-hmm. But what was weird, though, who was it that was talking about the owl? It was Barb. Shoot. It was it was doing the owl call, remember? It was like, it was like, screw it, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
So, hey, Jeff, but it's...
Hi, Jeff.
It's
just weird. We don't know. Who knows? Like, I can't say, oh, that's definitely a Bigfoot, but it's just weird because I do hear, I have heard them before. I guess, it's like the owl, and it sounds like it's somebody doing a bad owl impression, but they're so faint, or it's not, it's too faint, or it's not consistent enough that you can even really, I'm not even going to like present it to anybody because it's not, I just can't figure it out. To clean these things
we know they mimic sounds, so
yes, yeah,
so, and I imagine their owl sounds are a little rough sounding.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The last like it goes from like a duck to a dog, and then the last two sound like a gorilla, like a which I've heard that before. Hey, Grizzly, can you see if you could play the other one?
Okay.
See if you play the other one that I and I had sent this to you, Chris, but I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it.
Yes.
And this I got a couple months ago, I think in March. Or
May.
The
Scream, or is this the Scream one?
No,
this
is like a I don't even know what to say it is if it's not Bigfoot. I don't know.
Is this sent to the group or is this sent to the single one? Okay, I got it. Sorry about the noise, guys.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
That's
So what was
pretty interesting.
So I don't know if that was like banging on stuff, or let me move my mic while I adjust my spit guard and my guard.
Almost sound like some clothes tumbling in a dryer, right? It was
Yeah,
really weird,
yeah.
but it's got some venting in there. Almost sounds like
what I think it was is that whatever it was coming up closer to the camera. But not on camera, but the camera that was picking up the audio. I think it was probably below the deck where that camera is. But what's so strange is that the bottom deck should have picked up movement and it didn't.
It did sound like it was getting closer and closer as it went along.
Yeah.
Send that one to me too. I don't know. I don't think you sent that one to me. I'd like to try to clean that one up.
Yeah.
Because I can take and filter out all the background noises and actually normalize the audio to where it will be almost just that.
Yeah.
And it'll give us a little more to hear.
Yeah, that'll be great. Because it does. It's when you have these things, it sounds like different things to different people. Based on just your level of I feel like my daughter and I, we can hear things better or like at different tones than my husband. Sometimes he can't hear like a lot of the things. And I'm like, no, it's right there. He's like, no, I can't hear it. Like Chris, I was telling Grizzly that my husband said, well, maybe it was a duck and a dog. Like the first one, I'm like, a duck and a dog are just hanging
talking
out
to each other.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. Yeah. No, it definitely changed tone. It was whatever it was the same thing, and it was just changing its tone each time, pretty much.
Yeah. The second thing, like Lady Wolf is saying, the second thing, that also sounds like it's choking, but that's just the noise that this thing makes because I've got it on a lot of audio. And I'll have, see, Chris, I'll have to send you some of these. And it's like, I think it's just a noise that it makes. It almost sounds like it has a bad, wait, who said, a possum with a sinus infection. It almost sounds like it's something with it, like a sinus infection, but it's so loud. That's the thing that you have to take into consideration, which, no one would know. But the camera that's picking this up is about probably 35 feet off the ground. Now, if I were to stand on the ground and make this noise, I mean, it'd have to be pretty loud. You know what I mean? And I don't even know, because the thing is it's definitely not up on the deck unless it's on the roof. That could be, but it's so bizarre how it sounds like it gets so close to the camera. And especially with the other ones that have like a bass sound, you can hear that like,
it's like it didn't care.
Yeah. But it's caring enough not to show itself, on the camera. Like it's not being seen, it's being heard. And yeah.
So I was talking to Chris the other night, and I got permission to show some of these photographs. And I don't think I ever brought it up on this show about the Goat Man.
Oh,
and so Greg Yost is a very well-known researcher in this area and also in the cryptid community.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows Greg, what he says, you can take to the bank and to the foot of God, to the throne as gospel, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is pure as all get out. And So we have the Goat Man here in Louisville, Kentucky, and what happened was last year he was visiting a friend, and they were outside. I don't know if it was a Saturday or a Sunday. It was one of those days. And Greg, if I'm getting this wrong, jump in and correct me. But the neighbor's like, and Greg's like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? You know, I mean, if you don't know Greg, I mean, Greg is just a good old country boy. And I mean, he's half deaf. And if you can't get his attention, you're interviewing him, he will not stop because he just can't hear you. You know, and I mean, he's just funny. He's just down to earth. He's a good guy, and he's got his own team. And he's been doing this for years, and he's so well known, ladies and gentlemen. They have a soap that is called Sasquatch soap. They actually reached out to him, I think, a month or two ago, and sent him samples. So
Dr.
I don't know.
Squatch.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to use him as a mascot or they're going to put him in commercials.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I love Dr. Squatch. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh, I love it.
That's why I'm saying this guy.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
Greg was like, what is this guy talking about? And he's like, man, there was something back here last night and so solid and there was making all kinds of noise and you wouldn't believe the tracks we found. And Greg's like, well, show me. Well, that's great. And Greg does not go anywhere without his kits. And when I mean kits, he is prepared like Dick Tracy to collect evidence and to cast things.
Wow.
And it was funny. Well, it's not funny, but he was walking through this creek, leaving a $1 bill here, a $5 bill here, showing the prints. And he was standing next to these prints. And this guy's like 6 foot something and probably a little over 200 pounds. And his hands are huge. I mean, he can probably grip a basketball with one hand, no problem, right? Big, tall guy, good down to earth. But he casted these prints, and you can Google this. It's called the Pope Lick Monster. But there's been a lot of people that investigate this thing here in Kentucky, and they lure them to this train trestle. And people have been committed suicide off of it, been ran over by the train. It has been so bad with the investigators and people that's been killed, the police are actually involved. Let me show you some of these pictures I showed Chris. Like I said, these are Greg Yost's pictures. I do have permission to share them. I did get permission, so here we go. Here's one of them.
Okay.
Let me see if I can blow this up here.
Oh,
See,
wow.
I brought it up on the wrong screen. So if I bring it up on the other screen, I can blow it up some. There we go. So now, now that just may not look like much right now.
Wait.
What happened?
Can you see it,
black.
Chris?
No, it went black.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay, I'm like, no, that doesn't look like much.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't look like much, Chris.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, now did it come into frame focus?
Nope.
No.
It went even further away.
Big. Now how is it?
Nothing.
I'm not seeing it.
I see background. That's about all we see.
Oh, wait.
There we go. Getting closer.
So when I'm doing, I got three
little
monitors,
warmer,
ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Little warmer.
Yep.
A little hotter.
Ooh, we see
I'm on half. I'm on two screens right now, so it's split.
We
A
almost
little bit further.
So,
okay.
now
you're overkill now.
Yeah, I'm actually here. Let me do it this way. Yeah, let me just throw it back up here.
Okay.
Because if I put it on my main screen, I can use my fingers and enlarge it because it's a touch screen. But that's now if you look there, that's a $1 bill. And Greg was like, Grizzly. When I saw this, he was like, these are all down through this creek bed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the neighbor said they heard this awful hurtling scream throughout the night. These neighbors did, the neighbors. And one of them was like, well, what the hell's going on? Now, downtown Louisville, I'm not trying to be graphic, ladies and gentlemen. They have a pig slaughterhouse where they make the bacon and all that other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And at nighttime, you can actually hear them. And so I don't know if this attracted it or whatnot and brought it into the metro city.
Oh,
and,
wow.
I mean, this is what, yeah. So let me go to the next picture here. Let's see here. Blow it back up. Let's see. Well, and of course, nothing happens. No wonder nothing happens. Why is that so big?
That's what she said.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Here we go. Right into the ditch, ladies and gentlemen.
You better cover this up. I think we're in your messages.
Yeah, we sure are. Let me hit that button right here, and let me go back.
I saw where Chris said to Grizzly, "You look so handsome tonight." Oh, you guys.
Yes, I know. Yeah, man. Chris, you're sleeping on the couch tonight for sure.
He shined his head up a little bit, you know.
But my Facebook account is like overly. Oh, I know what I did. Let me close out my Facebook. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Since I enlarged it on the other screen. So let me re-bring this back up, because you got to see these in concession because they're in a straight line like it would be a Sasquatch prints, right? Like it's walking. But the thing though is that there are no other tracks around it. And that is what is the weird part around it. And this went down for, Craig says, I forgot for how long. It was almost a couple of miles.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Now let me try this again.
Did they look like, was that like a hoof print? What was that?
Oh, wait. No, wait. It gets better. Yeah, it gets a whole lot better. That's why I said you got to see the.
Figure out what it looks like. Right, we're going in the ditch in the comments.
Yes, we are for audio people again. All right.
That's great.
All right, here we go. So that's the first picture. Okay. Now look at the prints, the tracks. Whoa. So this is where he's standing. Now look at his footprint compared to a $5 bill in the track. Yeah. Okay, and let me use my mouse over here. So, and he's doing this down through the creek, and they're in a straight line. They're not side by side. There are no other tracks around. And he took photographs of it walking in a straight line. So let me go to the next one. So he knows automatically what's going to happen when he starts doing these castings. And
a dollar bill is 6.14 inches long.
Okay.
And once again,
that's pretty long for like a hoof track.
Let me bring it back up.
Yeah, that almost looked like a bird or some sort.
That is a cast.
What the
now, if you look at the space between there and look at the heel.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
Okay. Oh.
You try to take a picture of it long distance. Now that's
okay.
And now we're going to show one where he's holding one.
Wow.
I think I went the wrong way. I did. So let me. This one right here. Look how big his hand is. Now, if you look, here's one by the bottom of his. See if I can blow this up on here. No, I can't. But if you look, there's one right here by his tire on his truck.
Yeah.
See how big that is? Mm-hmm. Now, this is in his palm of his hand. So he went to the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, which we call that the DNR, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what is this? And they're like, huh? They're like, let me see that. So he knew what it was so he sat there and he said they studied it and they're like, oh, well, this is a heifer. And he was like, you call that a heifer? Really? That is not no heifer. And they were like, yeah, well, that's just an oversized cow. And they're like, he's like, yeah, a cow. that's a hoof print of a cow. Is that what you all want to put on record? Well, they wouldn't comment. So, and the thing though is that the way that is right. Then one of them said, "Well, that is a deer track. That's a big buck." Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a deer hunter. That is not a deer track. Like, no, that's not a deer.
No,
buck,
that's not.
okay?
I can even say it for sure.
We know by looking at that resembles a goat track, but a goat hoof is not that big, and the space between the hoof, it is not that spacious, in that wide, in that depth, the depth of it, right? And then the overall length from the tip of the hoof to the heel. And that's what's strange. So he knew by taking that there was a possibility. He didn't give me permission to show that. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring up the other pictures. Because he's got Bigfoot pictures too. Let's see here. So if the oversized, so he went to the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. He's like, what is this, ladies and gentlemen? And they're like, well, I don't know. Where'd you get that? He's like, well, don't remember. I got it. What is it? And they're like, I don't know, but we want this. And he's like, you're not getting it. So he was afraid that they were going to confiscate what he had. That's why he made extra just in case. So during our show, when I interviewed him about this, he pulled one out of his curio cabinet. I was like, oh my God, I had no idea it was that big. So the pictures does not do no justice. But if you remember when he was standing in that creek bed and the depth of that track compared to his actual standing next to it, and if I can bring it back up, with his foot on it, next to it, with all of his weight, and it's wet, ladies and gentlemen, and he is not sinking in that mud. So whatever that was very heavy. Yeah. To leave that deep impressions. And he said they tracked it. So, and this legend goes back for hundreds of years in Jefferson County, in Spencer County. So it was very interesting because, like I said, the police are actually involved. They have to do the train trestle thing and to monitor it. But look it up. It's called Pope Lick Monsters, what they call it here, which also we know is Goat Man. And but yeah, it's very interesting. I just had to show that. I showed Chris, and Chris was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." Wow. You know how we do that back and forth. I don't know how we do it. Chris,
I wonder what like a goat print looks like. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, we've seen bucks. If you get a big buck, sometimes you'll get the extra 2 little dots that little, the heel of it. Nothing like that. I mean, that's just absurd, and it'd have to be insanely huge for a buck. And not only that, they're actually spread. They're spread apart. The bigger hooves are actually spread apart, which deer tend to come together more. So I don't know.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what a goat
tracks. Those are small and they're together.
So this is a good size goat print or track. Okay. And here we go. Yeah, does that look like anything that we just saw?
No. Nope. No.
So
that's just wow.
And look how small that is compared to what he had.
Definitely. Wow.
So yes.
That's whoa.
And that's a feral goat controlled invasive animal management pest. They took that picture. Wow. So yeah.
And Grizzly, I'm about to send you a deer one, which I'm referring to. It's got those 2 dots. I just sent it to you.
Hello,
if you want
Thomas.
to share that.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, absolutely.
I shot it to you on your messenger.
All right. I'm bringing up my Facebook.
You'll see the 2 dots that I was referring to as the heel marks.
So Thomas is saying Goat Man is demonic, had a long talk with Greg Yost. I guess Greg, right?
Now, Thomas knows Greg, and he was on the show when I was presenting, and Tom was like, no, dude, whatever Greg says, take it to the bank, because Thomas lives in Indiana, and so does Greg. Like, that's why I'm saying, if you're in the cryptid community or live in this area, sorry, Chris, I can hit buttons while I talk too. I'm sorry.
No worries.
But let me get off the comment before I hit that. That way I'll blow it up. There we go, and share. And like I said, I am a deer hunter, so I know what deer tracks look like. Now, and this is where he's referring to about the back.
Yeah.
To see how they're like little puck marks. They're not like claw marks like the other ones were.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Similar, but not more similar to, than the goat, but definitely not the same thing.
Correct.
No. And I wish there was something on there for size comparisons, because usually if you get a deer track, you're going to see something about the size right here, in the center of the palm of your hand, or small. And what he had compared to, and Greg's, my hand is very small, ladies and gentlemen. And when I'm saying small, this is an iPhone 14 Plus.
Okay.
So, my hand barely fits over it. So, and Greg's hands is probably like, you know what I'm saying? Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big man. So, but now if I was
the dollar measures over 6 inches, so that gives you a scale there.
Yeah.
I mean, we out in the field, we've seen some decent size, and we thought was incredibly big buck print, and it was 4.5 inches long, and that seemed extremely big. I mean, Florida's, granted, Florida's deers are smaller than what you guys get up north, but still, 6 inches would be, I don't know, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, no, we all seen that video that was running rampant on Facebook last year about that goat that was on that farm and was walking on its hind legs. I would have shot that son of a gun. Okay, that would freak me out. Now, but eventually it went to all fours. This thing did not.
Right.
This was
the other
track over track in front, just like
and in line, like
yes.
That's
an
weird.
animal that's walking with 4. It's not going to do that when it's
bipedal and it's only leaving 2.
And nothing around in that vicinity at all. Any other tracks present? No other animals, humans, nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
But it's crazy. And that's what I try to tell people. And you want to know why I don't go in the woods by myself? And this was in a major city by the Ohio River, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And right downtown Louisville. So but it's very interesting. So you never know. And if it wasn't for that neighbor and Greg being over there at that time, we would have never got the prints, and neither would he.
Wow.
And it has just been another story that somebody heard and they saw something, but luckily he carried everything with him. So yeah.
And it it's, I don't know, what do you guys think? Like I always felt like a goat man might be something that's more of a demonic kind of a spirit or conjured spirit, but I don't know. I mean, that's flesh. You don't know it's blood. That's definitely something that's making those impressions.
So a goat man is supposed to be half man, half goat. It's mixed, right? Just like the Nubis, where they used to worship or put on the walls or in the pyramids and all that stuff back in Egypt and whatever else. But I don't know. Is it demonic?
Maybe
is
not.
It from a different realm? I mean,
right.
Is it
going to turn out to be something? Like that, like you said, like a dog man or a Bigfoot. Is it going to be something similar to that?
I don't know, but I don't want to run into one. That's for sure.
No, I agree. I wonder if, because you guys know.
There's your answer. Goat man is demonic. Had a long conversation with Greg on this. Thank you, Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you. So go ahead, Barb. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No, that's what was I talking about? I don't know. It'll come back to me.
I apologize.
Oh, I know. No, that's okay. No, I know. I remember. You know, the Sasquatch Genome Project that they're doing, and now the next phase of it, they have hi Midnight Squatchers. They have Dogman. Was it reptilian? Wait, I know it's Dogman, but I'm trying to think what else they have that they're testing DNA. And so Dogman has turned out to be canine, human, and something else unknown in the DNA. Now I wonder, because I don't know, I wonder if Goatman is in there somewhere, or maybe they haven't even released that information, because I don't remember. I know that
they seem to be more rare in just general.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So we wonder if they even had the opportunity to capture the genome.
Yes, to get the DNA, but that's because isn't it? I think that when you think of something with a goat head, it always reminds you of something. Me anyway, that would be demonic, or like a skinwalker, or what's the other thing? Oh gosh, what's the thing that is like the starvation evil spirit?
Chupacabras?
No, not a chupacabra.
That's more of a dog-like.
Yeah. Come on, people in the chat, tell us what it
Well,
is.
it starts with a W too. I think that's kind of like a
Wendigo.
Wendigo. Yes.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That has like a kind of a, well, not really. Isn't that more of like a deer head, I believe.
Something along that line. I don't know.
Well, this is where Val was talking about with his database, that people have seen reports of Sasquatch wearing deer antlers or deer skulls.
Yes.
And this is where it's like, is this a tribe? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, because, these are not just single reports.
No,
these are reports across the country.
Yeah.
Now, the guy that I interviewed said this was a Wendigo. This was something evil that scared the living daylights out of him, that did not walk upon this earth. Now, and that was the guy that I made fun of, that we're going to have him back on a show and let him tell his story. Because, Lady Wolf's right, Wendigo, because it's like we said on other shows, you draw a line in the sand, and you got to erase that line, because if you believe in one, you have to believe in others, because things do exist, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I don't care what you believe or not believe in. You're not out there, and we talked about mental illness all the time. Yes, we know that there is issues with that and so forth. But, when you have normal people that are credible, that work for the government, that are in law enforcement, that are cleargymen, that are above par citizens, military people, doctors, neurologists, whatever. And they're like, hey, man, this is what I've seen. And, we got a cottage out in the woods, down at the lake. And, it does, man. People, just like, when I brought up fairies on the last show, a couple people were like, I'm like, nah, man. And Barb's like, nah, Grizzly's telling the truth. And I was like, I saw a fairy. It flew in front of the camera during her show. It had wings.
Yep.
Chris is like, what? Yes, Chris, a fairy.
Yeah.
Made it.
Yeah, I missed that part. I kind of jumped into the show a little bit late on there, and I seen the orbs and stuff on it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one.
This Lala Bright, she has it on her Facebook page, and I didn't realize it because she didn't say that it was a fairy. But when we were talking to her, she said, "Yeah, that was a fairy," because it looks like like you'd imagine, like a fairy, like a bigger bug, and you can tell it has wings and it has legs, and it comes up to the camera. Yep, and it. Yeah, but and then in the video, it does the same thing, and it kind of comes up close, and it goes like, and she said it's saying hello, hi, and then it flies away. Wow. So good eye though, Grizzly, that you picked up on that, because I didn't necessarily, I didn't like get that.
So
like,
I was always told the difference between orb, and I asked the people on the last show, do you know the difference between an orb and a fairy? And the girl was like, yes, I do. And I was like, it's not a trick question. She's like, yes, I do. And I was like, oh, does she? And she described it exactly. I'm like, I'll be damned, she does. And I was like, so do you, sir, believe in fairies? She was like, yes, I do. And I was like, aha, I'm not the only one. See, people used to laugh at me. So they do exist. I'm telling you guys. And like she said, they are bigger and brighter. They are stronger. They're not translucent. And if you want to call it pixie dust, like Lala does, at least, and I always want to say camtrail, but it leaves that trail like a comet when it flies.
Like an energy trail.
Yeah, like an energy trail behind them. But you ever seen those things, ladies and gentlemen, where people be filming during the day or at night and they see this like little rod flying? It's got these little spirals on it and nobody knows what the hell that is. Well, this thing had wings like a fairy and it had legs. And it flew right in front of the camera. And I was like, I knew it was a fairy. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you saw that? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. I mean, and then there was orbs. And every time an orb went around in their room,
That's crazy.
They're like,
they're like, no big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it was like,
they're just happy and they're just making themselves presence known. And I'm like, oh my God, this is all being recorded.
Yeah.
So
that was wild. Yeah. Because, and then they stopped after a while, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And once they made their self-presence known and we acknowledged it, it was just like, okay, you saw us, we're done. We're going to go.
He said when they're excited, they're more out.
Yeah,
or something
he did.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now I don't know, Thomas, what I'll do if I see a gargoyle. I probably would empty and dump my mag too. Mothman, probably the same thing.
That's scary. Oh, especially a gargoyle. Oh my
hello,
God.
Midnight Squatchers. Hello. I had a cousin who's seen the goat like upright walking around her house in California in the 70s. She locked her door and did not come out till the morning.
Oh
I'm glad I wasn't there because that goat would have been like DOA. So yes, I mean, seeing something like that, I mean, because that's not natural. That is not natural. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I have been watching, and ladies and gentlemen, and that is who's your friend that has the parties out in the yard and plays the drums at the Tibet bows?
Barb Shoop?
No, the other one. Has been having the Good Break. Is that I'm saying her name right?
Oh, Cindy Ann Bueno. Yeah, Good Break.
Bueno. Yeah. So she actually was filming her meditations with people. Yeah. And she panned up in the tree and she caught one staring at them.
Yes, they were. Yes, it was at a local. It was like a gathering, like a conference kind of. But
yes,
what was staring? Was a goat man?
No, Bigfoot.
Okay, so you changed subject. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You were talking about goat man in 1 minute. I'm like, wait a minute.
But, it was,
they climb trees now. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know how she knew, but she was filming and she just like panned around and she stopped and she went up and it was up in the tree, like hugging it and just looking and just standing up in the tree, like probably like 40 something feet off the ground. Yep. Yeah. And I was like, what? So, and I'm like, why did you move your phone? Why does everybody move their phone? I would love the phone. She did move the phone. I'm like, unbelievable.
You know what, though? I have to say that happens to me all the time. It actually happened to me today, and I have to go back and review what I saw because I think that I saw one looking at me. But when you have your phone, and I don't know, has this ever happened to you guys? When you have your phone on something for a while and it's not, I mean, they don't move. They just stand there. And it's like, wait a minute, is this a stump? What am I looking at? So even to, use your naked eye and just move a little bit, that's going to move your camera or your phone. Or I'll just like kind of move my camera maybe to get back, and to have it focus back on what I'm looking at or to see if I can get it to move. Because you start to second guess yourself.
Part of it.
Whoa.
Part of it, you don't want to upset them either, too much. You don't want to, stare them down too long. I know Grizzly, like, no. I'd be.
That's right. That is right.
But you kind of want to be nonchalant about it in a way, so they don't. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kind of intrude into their territory,
Yeah, because I agree. Because I don't want to like overstay my welcome. Because I was in their, in their backyard or whatever. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Hello, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for Western Kentucky Bigfoot LLC Investigations. Don Wyden. Yolanda on a tree. He was meditating and grounding. Yeah. It probably was. The West Coast Dogman Project. Howdy, Grizz, Barb, and Chris. So, yes. But no, it was interesting, Chris, to see that video. Yeah. That she recorded, and it was weird because in the beginning she was very hesitant to even talk about certain things, and now she's like out of her shell, and she's like full-fledged, like, this is what I got, and I'm recording and I'm sharing everything. Yeah. And because she was very scared in the beginning and nervous about everything, and everything was evil, and once she realized and got involved with certain people that was been in the field and knowing about these creatures, it changed her mindset, I think. And I'm not speaking for you by any means,
No, because she has a long history with them, with investigating, and she used to do a lot of investigating down when she lived in Texas with a group, and I can't remember the name of the group, but it was a big and a kind of a well-known, group. And she got hit with a lot of infrasound, a lot that really caused her to have some bad health problems for a while. And she didn't even realize what it was at the time, but it caused so many problems. And I want to say that when she had, and I might be something to this, like when she had either an MRI or a CT scan, and the doctor was like, you almost look like you've had like tons of concussions, like you're, what happened, what has happened. And so just like there was a lot of trauma on her in her brain and on her body. So I think she just kind of had to take a step back from it for a few years. But man, where she moved, talk about being in the thick of it, because she gets really incredible audio. Woo!
Yeah, she does. I had to go back to Catherine. I hit it, and I read this, and this stuff like this, ladies and gentlemen, really bothers me a lot. And no disrespect to you, that is not a friend. Okay.
Yeah, now, I mean,
these are people that don't want to believe in anything, even though that they may not believe in things that does exist, that they don't want to believe exists. They can still hear you out and be like, wow, okay, and keep comments to themselves. So I'm sorry that you went through that or going through that.
Yeah.
But
and that's hard.
Just tell them UFOs didn't exist either, right?
Yeah. Well, and if Catherine's friend, if the person's saying that, oh, she's talking about creatures that exist, then why make fun of somebody like, oh, there's not that many Bigfoot? How do you know? If you think that there's creatures, how do you know?
Ohio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Ohio is a huge hot spot for cryptids. That's right. Yep.
So I just got a report from the field that allegedly somebody is investigating an island at a remote location. I see the island, and it is in Indiana. I can disclose that.
Oh.
And it looks like that he has found a breeding ground.
Oh.
And that there are trees that are not native in this area.
Oh, I
and
know what
he
this
has
is.
got video of the trees, and these trees that I'm watching are something that you, me, and Chris cannot move ourselves, and they are stacked, and they're wild looking.
Yeah.
So so if you're watching, sir, I'm not going to share the location or the map, but that is awesome. So I can't wait to see what he gets off of that. So
I know who. I'm not obviously we can't say anything, but I saw that yesterday. I saw the video, and it was
did you see that?
Wow. Yes, because remember when I met, and we're not going to mention, but I said, hey, about somebody that was on Facebook Live. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're talking about, the same thing. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, incredible.
So, but he actually just confirmed it. So whatever other evidence that he has found.
That is super cool.
So he actually looked at your video that you recorded, and he said that was a mother and a child that you had recorded.
Wait, me?
And
when?
Yes. The one that was
the
shaking the tree.
when you were walking the dog.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And
that just gave me chills.
And they teach their young how to cloak when they're juveniles.
Okay.
And some of them have problems doing that, and that's why we're having that distortion. And this person has taken off over a year to investigate full-fledged these creatures.
Wow.
Or animals, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, everybody wants to call them something different. Animals, Bigfoot, or Sasquatches. And he knows a lot about the Indian tribes.
Oh, wow.
And he did his homework. And but when he saw that, he told me right away what it was.
Oh my gosh.
And he explained why. And I was like, hey, go on. I'm like, shut the front door. He's like, well, just let her know. And I'm like, I am. And I forgot. And when I just saw that message, I brought it up. So yes.
So wow. And and I really believe that I think I had told you guys that I think that they're putting the babies, the juveniles, I think they're sitting them down in an area in our backyard where the camera, that would be like our lower deck. And I've shared videos of that, that like they know that cameras are on them, so they're going to be safe in that regard, and because I catch all kind of weird things on that camera. That's the one where I think I showed you guys the video where it looked like something almost like this thing's pixelating, and then this like bubble comes over its face. It almost looks like, but then there's like a clunk because it had thrown a rock at the deck, at one of the pillars of the deck. And so just stuff like that all the time. Just really cool. Really, really cool stuff. So yeah, I'd love to have him look at some of that other stuff because like I said, that's what I really think. And it kind of surprises me how I think they're allowing themselves to be seen more and more. I guess they trust me because, but I also, like you said, Chris, if I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, what am I seeing? Like, wow, I can see their eyes blinking and everything, but I don't want to overdo it, so I'll just watch for a little while.
Might break the trust.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to share this picture, and this picture I sent to the group, and this is a juvenile footprint that was recently captured not too long ago. Stand by here and bring up my Facebook. I keep closing it out. I don't know why I just don't leave it up.
Cute. Hold on, I can see it. It's so cute. Oh my gosh.
So
itty bitty.
Yeah. And like I said, this guy knows his stuff. And
That's definitely a little foot. How cute is that?
That's cool.
So, all right, here. All right, hold on, Catherine. I'm going to take a comment off so I can share this footprint so y'all can see it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this guy's hand's is still a good-sized hand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back over to my main screen, and I'm going to blow it back up to make it fit. Now, can y'all see it?
No, the first screen you can, but your main screen's not showing.
Daggone it.
The same thing you did earlier.
Oh, almost. There it is.
Yeah.
If you come,
raise it up. There you go.
Okay.
But if you look right there, is the actual footprint.
Clear, you can see it. Yeah. That's adorable. Look at how little it is, too.
And it was one here, then one above it, and he says the other photographs, I don't know where I put them, but the I don't know if it was the mother or the dad or the adult ones were very close in the proximity. It wasn't like side by side, but it was in the area. So this one was just like doing his little honky donkey 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 donkey.
So he had more. He had more of the one in a line.
Yes, these were in a line thing, just like the goat man thing. Yes, they weren't side by side. Now,
very cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, now you can tell by looking at this. This is not a human footprint. I'm sorry.
It has. You can see that mid tarsal break, and then see how the like little toes are like clutching in to the into the dirt deeper. That a human, we don't walk like that.
No,
that's so cute.
So
wow, I love it.
And still, that if you look, the ground is hard because the cracks.
Yeah.
And you can that still has weight. And you can tell and this is where the forensic parts come in, ladies and gentlemen. I can't use my fingers. You see my finger. But if you notice where it pushed off, you see the dirt where it's loose. See the loose dirt where it picked up and pushed. And that's where your foot goes down and pushed. Down and push. And then all the audio people are like, what the hell is he doing?
And they almost, they like grip with their toes when they kind of they push off.
They grip.
We don't do that. Yeah, if you notice that next time you're in some dirt or sand, that's not how we walk.
Right.
That's just incredible. That's adorable. Oh my gosh!
I wanted to share that with everybody too. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But and he told me that. Because I was telling, I don't know who, I talked to so many people. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you do.
I know.
All day long.
I was like, I was telling how they made, and I was Googling the silverback chimpanzees, and he's like, you didn't read it out loud, did you? I'm like, yeah, I did. I made a butt out of myself. And he was like, I wish I was there for that. And I was like, well, you want to listen to it? You can. It's recorded. So, but at first it does look like a handprint, but if you look, you can see the heel, and the heel is so narrow, and then it rounds off, and then the front of the foot, you can see the toes, it's wide towards the front, but then it gets narrow towards the heel part. So but
like tiny tootsies, like so cute.
So hand knuckles are different. They will row, and you will see the thumb on the side and not the actual toes like the footprints. I wish I had a Muldrum's got a lot of handprints Chris, don't you have somebody in one of your groups that somebody has finger swiping?
Swiping. Years ago, Mike he's actually doing a gator cast. It was a gator print, and he put some plaster down, went away, came back, and found some finger swipes, like something was checking it out. And one actual a true print is on it, like it touched it, and then there's other ones that are swiped across it. So it's one of the few plaster castings at the back of the casting is actually more interesting than the front. We got that one. We had it on display, matter of fact, at the conference.
Yeah, Stingray may have a point there. Maybe the juvenile was running.
That would yes.
That would explain that dirt being
Definitely.
kicked up by the toes, right?
Even more
Because
so.
I don't think you could take a hand and actually mimic that print. Like try to create it with just one print. You know what I mean? Sure, you could probably draw it in the sand if you wanted to, but I don't think you could actually use your hand and create that print.
But that was well, where I come from, we call it dirt clog. And that's why we're showing the crack in the dirt, how dry it was, and how the depth of that, in the weight and the impressions of the toes and everything. That's
like
what
it's
was
pushing
impressive.
off.
Yes, and Stingray, that would make sense if it was actually running or jogging. So Barb, does Chris know about the lady, the arc?
No, I've never told you, but I would like. Well, see, she doesn't want to be interviewed, but a friend of mine, she gets fantastic prints, but she's very protective of.
And a lot of people are, and a lot of people are scared, and I feel sorry for Chris down there. Because Chris wants it so bad. I mean, he wants to taste it. He wants to, we need to bring him up and hung up with Mike, so he can go out and be like, it's okay, baby.
No, I don't want any Bigfoot girlfriends.
So Scott says he's got one. You got a handprint? Man, I'd love to show that on the show if you got one. If you want to share it, I'll give you my messenger address, and you can send it over, and I'll pop it up, and we'll show everybody.
I'm looking through my. I should I know because I get them, and I don't cast them, and I should. But
a lot of people with people like you that have encounters don't think nothing of it because it's there. And
exactly. Like, what am I going to do with a bunch of prints and casts that they're not they're here all the time, not every single day I'm finding one, but they're so frequent that. And what am I going to do? Look at this. This is proof. I don't really need to prove that to anybody because.
And Chris said the same thing to me the other night, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, it's still cool to have cat. I'll say we had a pretty big crowd at the conference table because we actually had a bunch of plaster casts out showing, and people swarm around that because they see that as some pretty neat evidence. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't feel like we need to prove their existence. I mean, that's just my take on it. But yeah, I mean, if we get a really good one with some really good toes, we're gonna go ahead and cast it. But we see so many impressions. I mean, we're down in the swamps anyways. I mean, it's got to be a perfect substrate because there's so much leafiness, there's so much stuff that's just but we'll find areas that are just, we have huge impressions, and you can tell something heavy walked through there. It just didn't leave a solid print. You don't have the toes and all that. But I mean, it's just, you can tell they run around everywhere, almost like little kids run around in the area. I mean, just matted down everywhere, and no other animal is going to do that. If we get hogs, they're going to tear it up. You get deers, they're just going to run their tracks through. You're going to find it. But we'll find so many spots like that. It's just crazy. But yeah, the substrate does make a big difference. And fortunately, we don't always get too lucky on it, but on occasion we do.
I get that. I run into the same thing here.
Yeah, and Rick, the one we had on the show Sunday, the Cherokee guy with the blood that talked to him in his native language, he says that they actually destroy their thermal cameras if they don't like you. And I've never heard that before, and that shocked me. Yeah. So I was like, wow. And he says they will pick on the ones that have, that fear the worst. That would be me, right? And he did confirm that they do throw the problem ones out of the tribe or the clan that they have problems with. But always been confirmed again and again and again. That's the ones I'd probably run into. But, it's people that have, like Chris and Val and you said, they exist. You don't have to prove it to nobody. Why do it, right? You don't have to. So he actually let me know when you send that email. I'll bring it up and I'll display it. I just sent an email. He just sent it. So
yeah.
I
mean,
still
because
wonder if
it's
anyone has looked for Great Dismal. What's that? Vancouver border. What's that
Great
one?
Dismal.
Yeah.
Virginia, North Carolina border. I don't know. Has anybody ever investigated there?
Okay, let me pull up my email.
We know that
here.
they're there.
Not my territory, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Who do I don't know.
Let's see here.
I have to think about that. Russell might know, who's going to be on tomorrow night on Open the Door with, with Grizzly and Barb. He might know about that because he's from Virginia. So that's who we need. He can tell us all kinds of things about the hot spots and yeah. But yeah, going back to, it's fun to share, to talk about it. It's really fun to talk about. I've always been interested in it. It's fun to talk about. It's neat it's really cool that if I can share my evidence and and it can be, confirmed by somebody like you had said, Grizzly, your friend that would know, or either of you guys can say, yeah, this is something, that might be something that's, that I like that. But just to, have a bunch of people here to, anyway, we can, prove, but okay. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I can see the handprint now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm talking about? How it's round and it's not like a foot shape.
Yeah.
Where
And
it's
wow, that's really good.
Like it's set.
Yep.
And then it looked like it pressed off.
Yep.
And is that a right hand?
Probably if we're looking at it, unless it's
that was 20-something years ago.
Oh wait, is that?
No, that's something else. Scott, was that a right one? Spooky Place, Stingray says.
Probably the Dismals. Okay.
So
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
If Scott. Yeah, I would think it would be as long as unless it's like a transposed image, but it looks like. But that's a good one because you can see where the fingers are pressed in a little further.
Yes, Scott says it is a right hand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good one. And what was the story behind that, Scott? Did he tell us what was?
No. What state was that from, Scott?
Yeah.
Now, who was it that got the one where it was laying down, got the part of the arm and part of the side?
Oh, the Skookum cast.
Yes.
Was that Washington State, I think, or somewhere in the Pacific Northwest? I think it was Washington State. I don't know.
Stingray, I think Barb and Chris have encountered the, oh my gosh, what's it called? The Banshee, because the woman screaming in the woods.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
I heard.
Hey,
Speaking
of which, I did have that one cleaned up, and I actually put it to you on a messenger there, Chris.
Yeah.
So if you want to pull that up, it's only 2 seconds long. So I cut out all the extra stuff and I cleaned it up, and you can definitely hear it now. Yeah. Hers is different than what I heard. Mine still kind of gives me chills just thinking about it because it was like a blood curdling scream. It was pretty crazy.
That was taken in a 5,000 square acre state forest property in mid-state New York. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there's a lot of.
And you sent that to me in Messenger, you said, Chris?
Yeah, just to you directly.
All right, here. Why? I don't know why I shut down my Facebook.
It's a sound, like a little sound clip. It's right before the print. So I don't know how that'll work for you, but
no, that's fine. All right, here.
State forest property, huh? Go figure.
Now I've got a picture of a background, and it looked like a boomerang. Is that to the group or just from you?
No, it's just from me to you direct, and it was just before I sent.
I got you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you won't see anything. It's just a audio.
All right, now. I'll tell you what I need to do on that. Let me hook up my Bluetooth. Stand by. Let me set it.
Actually, you play it right on your phone. It might work. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because it's pretty loud on that one. I
is
beefed
loud.
it up.
I just played it on my computer. So you're going to hear Bluetooth connected.
Bluetooth connected.
All right, here we go. And
3, 2, 1.
well, that's not an owl.
No.
I told Barb she had somebody squealing her tires.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely odd. It's a really weird sound.
Uh-huh.
I need to get that programmed where we can monitor the frequencies. Do you have that?
No.
I got all kinds of stuff. I actually have.
I figured you would. Yeah.
I have the technology to create songs and stuff like that. So basically, desktop studio.
No, we understand, Scott, and we're very thankful that
Scott,
you let us share that. Thank you very much. Yeah,
definitely.
I appreciate
it. Totally get it. I totally get it. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that
cool.
was because Chris, you said that with the scream that it was ironic because we had, within a few days. When did you hear yours? It was just within the last few weeks. Because I think
it was last weekend. It was the weekend before.
Yeah. And then I said, that I had heard one, but mine was, so mine again is on audio on my camera, and it was definitely further away. This wasn't something that would have even been, like in our yard or next or
and go figure. I usually have a audio recorder always going when we're out, and the one time I don't, is when we get that scream. And then right afterwards, a barred owl sounded off, but you can tell because we hear barred owls quite often, and as a matter of fact, we get those mimicked quite a bit too, where it sounds like a really rough barred owl, like something just is not right about it. But that barred owl didn't sound right either. It sounded like it was spooked. I'm gonna have to dig up another audio out this week. I've got one that's Jeffrey with he's on a podcast and he does a lot of stuff too. And he came and visited us and we went out on a little venture out in the woods, and we went to a new area that we went into, and we got audio of it. There was a part where we kind of walked into this area, and we had these crows going overhead, and there was like 3 or 4 of them circling right over top of me and Mike because we were kind of leading the pack. And then you could just tell they're an alarm system. They're going crazy, right? And then right during that, all of a sudden a red-shouldered hawk came in and was doing the same thing with them, which was really unusual. Immediately following that, barred owl started sounding off. And then towards the end, there was a couple of the barred owls didn't sound right. It sounded a little off. It sounded a little weaker, it's nice. Nice print. But yeah, it was interesting. And then Mike does a hoot, and instantly all the birds stopped.
Oh wow!
Every single one of them stopped. It was just really insane how it all kind of unfolded. But I'll have to dig up that audio and play that for you guys.
Yeah.
This is also in Indiana, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
So
that's a deep print. And big.
Yeah. And you can see the toes right there on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So
that's where I want a LiDAR scanner.
Yeah.
I think the new iPhones actually have that technology somewhat built into it. So
that would be great.
I'm not an iPhone person, but
Oh wait.
Apparently they do.
I wonder if I could. I have an iPhone. I wonder. Probably wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Basically digital scans it, and you don't have to actually do a cast. You can literally just digital scan.
Oh, because that would be great. Because also there's sometimes there's things that I can't figure out what it is. Like I know it's a print, but I'm not quite sure what this. Is it a hand? Is it like fingers poking down? Anyway. So
It's a good way to record your evidence and just catalog it.
Let's see, on the PD, what we used to have to do on crime scenes, whether it's suicide, murder, or whatnot, we didn't know. We would have to take a picture of the outside of the house, and we have to walk around the whole house, take pictures of the house, the yard. Then as you walk in the house, you have to take photographs, and every time you took a step, another photograph. Then you photograph around the area of and now you just put the camera in the center of the room, and it does everything. Then you can go back and you can tilt it, pan it, zoom it upside down and everything. And it's pretty wild with the technology they have.
Yeah, the 360. The LiDARs actually send a scan out, and it literally makes a 3-dimensional view. You can take it, spin it around, and actually see the print or whatever you do a LiDAR image of. Like if you have something on a table and you want to move your phone all around it in every direction, like 360, it'll actually create that image for you right there. So you can do the same thing with a print, which is kind of cool.
Cool. Wow. Yeah. Check that out. Wow.
So do y'all, there was something else I wanted to show, and I don't know why I keep shutting my Facebook down. So the guy that found these tracks in southern Indiana, he was like, now let me ask you something. He was like, Grizzly, he was like, that does not make any sense why I'm finding this. And this is the same one that found all that grass in the trees drying out, right?
Oh, is this the same guy? Okay.
Yeah, so this is the same guy. And by the way, they announced today that they are extending Mammoth Cave Park and adding more acres to the park to claim some kind of sanctuary. And I'm like, I wonder why.
Yeah.
And, of course, me. And I'm going to show you this picture. Okay. And I want you all to tell me, what in the world, what would you think? You're out in the woods. And because he was like, I don't know what to think about it. He was like, there is no way in hell that just let me show you guys. Yeah, just let me, I don't know why I'm even talking about it. So here we go. Now, you know what that is?
Yeah, it's a barrel.
That is a 55-gallon drum.
What in the world?
Look how high that is off the ground.
What's it hanging on?
It's up in a tree.
Sitting in a tree.
Just propped up in a... Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Now, I know how heavy 55-gallon drums are because years ago, there was a guy, when I was on the PD, we used to get them for $25 a piece, and we would make redneck grills out of them. You know what I'm saying? And they were pretty cool.
Wow.
But he was like, he was like, I don't know. He's like, my son was like, Dad, what is that? And he's like, what is what? And he was looking this way. And when he turned around, he was looking this way. And he was like, I was afraid to look up. And he said, he's like, what? And he said there was the foliage all around there at the, let me use my mouse. The foliage all around here was trampled all the way around here. But he said the trees and stuff, he said, how would you get that over and up there? It's like somebody walked straight up and just like clunk it right there and just
the trees don't even have branches to climb, so somebody'd have to have a ladder out in the woods on a hill.
Yes.
Yeah, and why would you even?
And why? And the question is why, right?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is not flood. That is a hill, like he said. Now, that's a game trail right there. Okay, so I have no idea. So, but this is a very well-known, off-the-beat patent way out in a protected park. I'll tell you that much.
That's amazing.
So, yes.
Wow. And, and that's up there. Like, wow. It is. The thing had to be really tall. And obviously
the only thing I asked him he should have done just for giggles is put his son underneath there.
Yeah.
But they were so much in shock and awe. He was like, we didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yes,
we were like, what in the world's that up in the tree for? So
measuring tape.
Right. Yeah.
But definitely something to scale would be good.
It's up there pretty hard.
Yeah, it's just wild.
Gosh.
Hey, Luna, welcome to the show. And midnight squatchers sure ain't making moonshine.
Maybe it's a new
they
method.
were.
I don't know.
So, but now,
yeah, how did
this
that
guy goes so far off the beaten path.
Wow.
He's like, there's no reason for this to be out there.
Yeah.
And now, in Indiana, you are not allowed to chop up wood to start fires, because I read the IC codes and stuff, because I'm a law guy, right? And he laughed at him. He's like, Grizzly, we go where nobody goes. So when we go out, you don't have to worry about none of that. I was like, dude, you don't understand. These guys, well, they're all new now probably, but most of them will be like, dude, what are you doing cutting down that damn tree? You know what I'm saying? To start a fire. Because I'm sure I ain't logging wood in there. But they don't carry food. They fish for their own food.
Wow.
If they don't catch anything, they don't eat. So they take their kayaks. So
Wow.
it's pretty wild what they do.
That's
so.
Yeah.
That Scott says that he can hear the Sasquatch giggling in the bushes. You know they're damn near watching. They have to be.
Oh yeah.
So
wow,
Protective
great.
Park and the FBI isn't there. So he actually confronted the DNR one day in the park, and they're like, he said something to one of the officers, and they're like, we are out there. And he's like, dude, you're not out there where I am. They're like, we know where people go. He's like, no, you don't. He says, if you know where I went, he said, you'd have done showed up and wrote me tickets. And he was like, what? What are you doing out there? He's like, we're hunting Bigfoot. And they all laughed at him, like, whatever. And they walked off. And his son was like, Dad, they don't believe us. And they're like, it's okay. That's why they don't go where we go, because they're scared. And the guy turned around and was like, I heard that. So, yeah.
Or they can't acknowledge. They don't want to acknowledge.
No. And let me tell you something. The Indiana DNR people, they are crazy. I actually did a couple of tours with them when I was on the PD. These guys will park and just walk in the middle of nowhere and look for hunters and poachers by themselves. And I mean, I'm telling you, they will go down country roads and drive in the middle of fields and wait and just walk for miles by themselves. And I mean, just crazy people.
411.
Man, I'm telling you. And I mean, we backed them up on county before, late at night. It's just
wow.
But when he made that comment to I almost said his name, but when he made a comment to my buddy, we're out there, and he's like, no, you're not where I'm at, because he says there's no trace of no human activity at all, no trash, no prints, not even on the banks. He says you don't even see people even going up and down the creeks with kayaks. And I'm like, well, aren't you afraid anybody's going to steal your equipment? He's like, no. He said, we leave it right there on the bank. So if anybody wants to know where we're at, they're there. And I'm like, that's crazy. So yes, that is freaky, Catherine, with with the barrel. It really is.
Yeah, it sure is.
But don't you have any stories? Because didn't y'all just go out, Chris?
We went out last week, but we didn't have anything that great. We found a couple pretty cool. Like it was more or less an arch, but it was like two big sticks shoved into the ground. Both the branches, they were probably about 10, 12 foot tall, kind of come together with another tree that was an arch. So it made like almost like a teepee, which was more or less unexplainable. I mean, I don't know how you would get two large branches shoved in the ground about 10 inches. Because I actually pulled them up, and we usually look at them and measure. But nothing really super exciting last weekend. So the weekend before, we did a lot of night investigations, and that was fun. But we'll be back out this weekend. We usually go out once or twice a week. So
you're so
nothing super exciting.
It's pretty good to learn.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say everything that we come across, but it's we definitely see some stuff that's really, really weird. We'll find something this weekend. I'm sure. I'll definitely be reporting on it.
How big is the area that you investigate in, Chris?
We have a couple different areas, actually a few different areas.
All right.
Some of the Green Swamp, which is pretty well known. It's also kind of known as the Skinwalker Ranch of Florida. I mean, it's just really weird stuff that goes on out there, UFOs, sightings, all kinds of different things. And that's why we were doing our night investigation at, and heard the Banshee thing, whatever it might have been.
Wow.
And then the other area we won't disclose, but we kind of keep that one private because we definitely find it because it's actually near a lot of, not too far away from houses. I mean, literally, like. But the funny thing is, nobody goes in there because there's trails, but we go off where the trails aren't, and we go back in the swamps. I mean, nobody goes in swamps in the right mind in Florida usually, unless you're seriously looking for something like we are. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but we know that area's got activity, so we kind of keep that one hidden.
Wow.
But yeah, we find some cool stuff. So I'll have to pull up some pictures next week and show you a few more things like the chain link fence that we mentioned before. That was it's been mangled up and somebody ripped the bottom upwards, and about a third of the it's a 6-foot fence, and about a third of the way up, something just grabbed from the bottom and pulled it back so hard that it stayed in place. Like you can crawl underneath it. And if you ever mess with chain link fence, that stuff doesn't bend easy, and you have to take a
barbed wire, electric fence.
You have to take a come along and a ratchet just to get things to move and stretch. And no, something literally was strong enough to pull it back. And that was probably the first time Mike took me there, and I saw that, and I was like, really, like what the hell? Yeah, I mean, there's no other explanation you can think of. Not any human can do that. No animal's going to do that. We don't have bears out there. It's just there's no explaining it. It's just really, really odd stuff. But we've seen some pretty incredible things back there. Just scratch your head and say, what the hell? What's going on around here? You know what I mean? You know they're there. We do. We know they're there because there's just too many signs. We gift back there on occasion, not regularly. We definitely don't leave peanut butter jars every week, 6 times a week. No, we know better than that, at least now, definitely. But we'll go back there and gift on occasion, and Mike knows them pretty well, so they almost know who he is, like type of relationship.
The photo that was it last week that Linda Wood had done, the AI photo that you said about, it was so human looking. And then, and I told her about that and she was excited. And that was Mike that saw that, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that, cause she had asked me some questions and I said, I'm going to have to ask Chris about it. So,
Ruby knew who she was because she went and dug up some other ones that she does. And she's like, oh yeah, that's Linda's. And Mike didn't really know where it came from. He just saw that one picture and it resonated with him. So it was cool.
So what do you think they are, Chris? You really never talk about it.
That's a good question, Grizzly. Part human. We know what we know is they're part human and part something else. But I mean, the big question has to be, how can something so big be so elusive? And if it was just an ape walking around, why hadn't we caught them? And if there's just an animal walking around, we do catch them, but we don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when it is caught or killed or anything of that nature, why are they covered up instantly? Why is the government involved in trying to make it go away? So I think there's definitely more of a unearthly aspect to them. They do have that human aspect, and I think that maybe that's why they're not as scary to some people as, say, Dogman or Goatman or whatever. Those come off a lot more demonic, but that's an animal. Here is something that's part human, so we relate, for one. B, we all know that there's good and bad for humans, so it's probably going to be the same for them. But anyway, that's my take on it. I mean, it could be biblical. There's a good chance there's I don't know if you had an interesting take the other night about watchers. That was kind of a different thought. So Nephilim, related to Nephilim, possibly. I don't know. It's a lot to be learned yet, so that's why we're here.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that Chris and I was talking about is that, you know, the indigenous people, the Indians and different tribes, they know so much, but they don't want to give us the information. And we had a few on another show, a couple, and without respect, you know, you can watch the show and get the name, but it, you know, we are always referred to as white men, and I don't take, you know, any disrespect to that or racist or anything like that.
Right.
It's I know there's probably still some hard feelings about, you know, how they've been treated over the hundreds of years and so forth, and how we disrespect their culture still to this day, and how we still treat them and disrespect them. But not only that, but it seems like they have this bond with Sasquatch or Bigfoot that's very spiritual and very tight knit, and they know so much more than we do. And it's like, you know, you all don't need to know because it's none of your business. And, you know, and there's so many theories that we come up with. And Chris and I was talking about this, you know, and no disrespect to whoever's doing this, but somebody's making, you know, a book or a manual about, you know, tree structures and signs and what it means and so forth. And hopefully, you know, they got it from some good resources, because I would like to know.
Yeah.
And I was telling Chris, you know, I'm supposed to be talking to somebody from upstate New York that, you know, is full blooded, but I don't know if it's going to be related to anything along this realm, because everybody's so tight-lipped about it. And but there's so much to know, but we don't know, and we're always guessing, assuming. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to believe it's real. Okay. Yeah, there are fakes, there are AIs, you know, computer generated images and videos now. We know that. But, you know, the stuff and everything else that's going around over the years, and, you know, stuff that Barb has, the stuff that Chris comes up with his group and his researchers, investigators, and even Mike Scott, you know, and the guy, you know, with the peanut butter jars, and, you know, and Randall with his encounter with the juvenile with the barn. And then we find out that that's not the only people that had rough encounters with Sasquatches, you know. And then we find out why they're called rogue ones. And I still, ladies and gentlemen, if you're all out there listening and you all find that, that flyer that has a different Sasquatches in America, please share that with us, because it was floating around there on Facebook for quite some time. And it had, you know, on the West Coast, this is the ones you encounter. In the Midwest, these are the ones they look like. In the East Coast, these are the ones they look like. Down south, and their facial features were all different. And that would make sense, like Chris and I were talking about, different ethnic backgrounds, different races, you know, breeding between each other, and so forth. But good night, everyone. Good night. Good night, Thomas. We're getting ready to cut it too. But share that with us, because I wish I would have saved it. And I don't know why I
think
didn't.
I found it, Grizzly. I think I found it.
There's one that's going around that also is like a worldwide one, because they got ones around the world as well.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I'll send this one to you, Grizzly, and then, you know, I mean, maybe we could go over it
next show. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, because that would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's the one. You can let me know if that's the one. It's from.
Does it have like the Indian face, thick skin, and?
Let me see. It's from Bigfoot, Sasquatch, 10 types of Bigfoots in America.
Nope.
Or no?
No. This actually had this looked like a police photo lineup.
Like
and
forensic.
It had, like, yes, it looked like it had about 15 of them on a sheet. And I wish I would have saved it, because I've tried, and I still look to this day from time to time to try to find it. It's like somebody intentionally removed it from Facebook or the internet, because usually,
that could be.
you know, you can Google it, and usually everything pops up in images, right? You know,
Right.
give me a sheet of Sasquatch face images or whatever you want to keywords it. So
they usually make their way back around, but when they get scrubbed from the internet, they get scrubbed. I mean,
yeah, right. But not when you post something you don't want to be posted, and you make a mistake, and next thing you know, and let me tell you something. When I went to the civilian side and we did background checks on people, man, they did background checks on people on social media, and you think things got deleted, ladies and gentlemen, you are so wrong. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So the Sasquatch, Scott says, I've seen different looking head shapes and amount of, no, Scott, you're right. Go ahead, Barb. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, what I sent you has like a lot of pages, so you'll have to look through, because there's like a lot. It might be the last page might be what you're talking about. I don't know, but yeah. But anyway, that was the thing that I was thinking of. But
yeah, that's something similar. That's very close to it. Yeah, we'll share that.
Now, so, what is okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So Stingray was talking about. Okay. Oh, this. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much good stuff going. Yeah. Different looking head shape, amount of facial hair. Yes, that's what we keep hearing. That they all are different, and
to be expected if they're part human. I mean, we all look different,
right?
Quite a bit. So wouldn't be surprising, right?
Yeah, they and especially if I had heard someone talking that was really into really knowledgeable and an expert on DNA, and if you have something that is a hybrid, that gives you more there's more plausibility that you can have so many different types of features and looks, because it's pulling in from both of the halves of what it is. It's pulling in from all of that. And if it's two relatively different things, you could get a wide range, which that's what you really get with them.
Yeah, I mean, you really do. I mean, even though we'll share the sheet, the flyer that you sent over.
Take a look
at
it.
It's called Katie's Post. If you want to Google it, it's called Face Match: The Many Faces of Bigfoot That Could Have Possibly Accompanied by Anybody You See Above. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 54. 57 different types of faces.
Yeah, there's a lot. I have that pinned on the top of my page too, my No Drama Bigfoot and Cryptids page. It's pinned at the top. So if you want to take a look at it, we can go over it next week, and people can weigh in what if it's something. And if you have seen one and you're not familiar with Linda Wood, she's on all the Is it Linda I believe Linda I Wood, but she's on a lot of the Bigfoot pages. She's on my page. Is she on your page, Chris? Probably.
Could be. I'm sorry.
Artificial, the AI.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, and she just and she also is looking for anybody that if you've seen one and you want you want to have like a recreation of what you see. Yeah. She said, please just text, message me, Facebook message me, and she can, Linda Wood, she can tweak it and try to get it down to what, just like a forensic artist would do. But it's with AI, it's cool because you're seeing it more almost like in 3D and all that, and
I made Grizzly into a Bigfoot one time.
Did you?
Yeah, and I'll share that on next show. And I'll share some of those pictures. It was very interesting.
They came out pretty entertaining.
So it really did.
Picked up on his beard and the streaks in his beard a lot.
So,
it's pretty cool.
But no, we'll share some of that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're out in the woods and you see stuff you don't know what it is, or you think it may be something, whether you think you do or do not, take pictures of it, send it in. We don't have to share your name, just like I did with some people.
Yep.
Mel Ketchum said that there's sections of their DNA that has single strand and not two. Yes, that is correct.
Yep.
Scientifically, they shouldn't be alive. But let me tell you something, Scott. There are a lot of things that you and I know that should not be alive, that are alive, that walk upon this earth. How is that possible? I do not know. Yep. But yes, Lady Wolf, Bigfoot wear glasses. They wear clothes.
Never know.
I wonder if they have like if they need sight correction. That's kind of
now. Was it you, Chris, that told me? You're like, now what in the hell did I read an article or come across somebody with blue flannel, or is that you, Barb?
I heard about the one that stole an oversized like white T-shirt when he was like a teenager. Yeah, and like a big man, and then wore that thing for years.
Yeah, I heard of the blue flannel one, but I don't know who told the story, but I heard the blue flannel.
I didn't hear that one.
So I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen, why they do that. But you know what? I guess if they get cold and they want
to be stylish.
Yeah, right. So, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all had a good show. And Barb and Chris, what do you think? Y'all had a good time tonight?
Yeah, this was great. Yeah,
I always do.
Looking forward to next week with hopefully we'll have some better evidence.
We'll definitely show some pictures. Yeah.
One thing I'm not going to do is fake it. So I mean, we get the real stuff. When we find it, we find it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, if you got stuff you don't know what it is, and if you do want to share it, send it to us. I don't mind sharing emails or whatnot. We'll put it up there. We don't have to say who it's from. I mean, you can personal message me or send it to the No Drama group and reach out to her or whoever, and we'll put it out there for you guys. So.
And that's funny because and I'll say it too. Like I know this is going to sound crazy. How many people do we hear that we interview? I know this is going to sound crazy. No, it doesn't sound crazy to us. It doesn't, because we know. We know.
We're not going to make fun of anybody.
Stayed out of the ditch, Lady Wolf. Yes, we did.
We did really well.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
It was your fault, Chris.
Almost in the beginning.
I know it. I was like, my Lord. We were talking about you last night, Barb, about the marbles.
Oh, yeah?
But, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, Godspeed. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Yeah, he's trying to stay out of the ditch really bad.
Hey, I did a good job keeping a straight face when she was explaining that. You know what
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I don't either. Now I don't know
was
what
it me?
button.
Are you guys aren't talking about? Who are you talking about?
I'm not saying it on the air.
Here we go. No, we can't.
We are staying out of
it.
No. Y'all have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Good night.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not a chipmunk? Action. Get out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!